Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Painted in Color podcast. I'm co-host Lauren Brown, joined by co-host Mia Araujo and Eric Wilkerson. And today we are airing the last episode of 2023. Yay, we made it another year. This is year 3 of the podcast and closing it out. We are talking about the intentions that we set for ourselves at the beginning of the year and the intentions that we're setting for ourselves at the end of the year and the things that, for the start of 2024 and the things that we have accomplished during the year of 2023 and looking back and giving ourselves our little flowers for all the hard work that we put in and dedicated. So we hope that this episode helps inspire you. We hope that it helps you also look back at the things that you've accomplished and celebrate yourselves. So let's get into it.
What were our goals coming into the new year?
Oops.
Oh, shit, I don't even know.
And did we achieve any of that?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Well, I think one of them was getting over 1,000 subscribers, and we did do that.
Yes, we did that. I mean, excuse my language, but yes, we did that.
Get hype, let's go.
Oh my God, that was all you, Lauren. That was all you going on to the podcast and always talking about our show everywhere you go, like freaking representing. So thank you.
You talk about the show everywhere you go, so thank you. I mean, thank you both. Like I keep saying over and over again, and especially to you, Mia, the show would not exist if you weren't on it. Mia, like having to hunt down my ADHD ass all year, for all 3 years we've been doing the show, which, oh my God, next year is gonna be year 4.
I know.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I never thought that I could do anything for 4 years.
Especially something that's free.
something free that's like not like tied to a particular like specific deadline or like, the end of the world will come if I don't finish this thing. It's just like, it's something that, it's really cool that we've dedicated this much time to it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank y'all.
Proud of us. I mean,
I'm really proud of us too. This is awesome.
Yeah, and we've been able to work around our schedules, and just have our lives, and just and that's how it's been able to keep going, because I think if you have something that's like more, I feel like that's with a lot of habits. I don't know if the two of you feel like this, but whenever you're just like every single day, like every single month, I'm going to work out 4 times a week, and then you just don't do it at all, As opposed to when it's like when you can, or you make it so that it is something that you can squeeze into your schedule. And that's what we've done with the show, and that's honestly why it's still going.
I'm really, really glad at the beginning we decided that it was going to be every 2 weeks so that it wasn't so overwhelming to keep content going. And I think this year we actually did, I know we did less shows overall this year, but I think we needed to do less shows because we were so busy, and it's better to do less than to not do it at all.
Yeah.
And I think that we talked about that before too. It's like, do something, even if you can't do everything that you set out to do something.
Yeah.
And that's a testament to that, because we still had some banger episodes this year, even though there were less of them. Yeah. And it's totally fine because we still are making the show, and that's what matters ultimately.
Yeah. And we try not to do filler episodes, right? We want to have something to say, or we want to feel like it's worth our audience's time, or to bring on guests that we're really excited about. And by the way, we have a long list of people we want to bring on, and it's always just a matter of scheduling, like when it works for the 3 of us, obviously, but also for that person who's usually our list of guests are also busy because they're also amazing. So but yeah, juggling all that is not easy, especially with full-time jobs and careers and stuff. So yeah, I don't know.
It really isn't, because like all 3 of us have full-time careers and are working our asses off to to continue these careers and to be successful at that. So it's like with the scraps of time that we can scrounge up to dedicate to the show, and the fact that we've been able to do that for almost 4 years now is again, it's really, I am really impressed with all of us that we were able to make it work.
Yeah.
And so we've been busy. We have been so busy.
So busy.
But it's awesome too, because like all 3 of us have done, like we've come really far since starting the show too. Like there's been so much that we've all accomplished. And it's been really cool to like be with y'all, to see that happen in real time, and like to be able to celebrate the successes and like just witness them. Like it's an honor and a privilege to be able to do that.
Oh, I got you.
You guys are awesome.
I think it's like more you two. I'm like a train moving in slow motion or whatever.
No, Mia.
You're doing what you wanted to do.
Yeah, no,
Do
that
what
that
you
I-
want to do. And
yeah.
that's
And what you want to do takes time, and it takes concerted effort, but you're still doing it. And
Yeah.
like it's a huge thing that you're still doing it and that you're building, and it's going to happen. And I'm really excited when it does. I'm so excited.
Oh.
But yeah, it's like you know the meme of the person sitting at the diner and they're just like their hands on the table and they're just glowing like like a big light bulb.
No.
Like it's very silly, but it's like you've been charging all of your energy, and like once it releases into the world, it's going to be like a big explosion of wonderful reception and success, and I cannot wait to see it.
Oh, thanks, girl. That's so
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I read it. I'm excited. I'm really excited. Oh, Mia's blushing. She's so
I don't know how to take compliments. It's like Shove, right? Like it was so cute how uncomfortable he was, but
it was really funny to just like then pile them on because I was like, oh, you can't handle this. So
yeah. It'll just make you more uncomfortable.
Yeah. It's so funny.
Oh, man.
But I don't know, like let's start with you, Mia. For you, Mia, what were the highlights of your 2023?
Oh man, I mean, I think just kind of like keeping it together. Like
This is
like
me giving you a hug.
is that considered a thing? Like I don't
Yes, actually.
I think that just looking back, I had to get more time on my projects, so I think I was really proud of that, and I have Eric to thank for that because he really convinced me like do it. Publishers have the time, and it's like they don't like to advertise that they have the time to give you, but when you have an emergency or when you realize like it's going to compromise the quality of your product, like ask for it. It's not like there's no shame in doing that. So I think that was probably the best decision I made this year was to like ask for that extra time. And yeah, 2024 would have been a great number because it's literally in 21 days or whatever, but it's about 25 to see that. It feels like so long, but it's just a few months. So, and to me, those few months, like honestly, like getting COVID and being sick for like 2 whole weeks and then like, family health stuff and all that stuff, like I didn't see any of that coming. So that's the thing too. It's like knowing your plan for yourself. I find that the most hilarious, like looking at my plan for this book and where I plan to be now in terms of how many paintings I expected to be done with now and where I actually am, and realizing that, oh wow, I was really ambitious in my head and this is what reality looks like.
Yeah.
But again, anytime you do your first of anything, you're not going to be really good at guessing how long it takes you to do things.
Oh no. I can attest to that pretty wholeheartedly. And I feel like most artists have gone through that struggle where, especially when faced with a big project, we have an idea of what we can accomplish in our heads based on when we made one illustration or like the fastest that we've worked. And we're like, oh, surely I can keep this pace up. No, you can't.
Yeah, it's like you can, but you might be dead at the end.
Yeah, life we forget that life gets in the way. Like like emergencies happen, or you get rerouted, or I have to take a day off or go on vacation to like be away from this canvas for a little bit, or deal with family stuff or unexpected issues. Like I think we always forget to put the padding in place for the what if scenarios that might happen, and also our own mental health and burnout. And I think it's really important to remember that we might just need a little bit of extra time, and you're not a bad person for needing extra time, because that's just being human. But we are really bad at estimating when things can get done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I've said it in past episodes when we talk about time management, whenever we did our time management episode, but I'm still battling with that inner clock where I accept a project, but my brain still thinks I'm single. And I'm just like, hell yeah, I'll do that. What? Another company? Hell yeah, I'll do that. Let's line that up perfectly. And then just get punched in the face by life, just going, well, yeah, you may want to do that, but you're not starting that till 10 o'clock tonight. Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I am single. My brain still does that. My brain just tricks me into thinking I'm not busy like already.
Yeah. Or that I'm a fast painter, which is just not true.
Yeah, my brain's like, you're still in college, right?
Yeah, you can pull all-nighters.
Limitless energy.
Yeah. No, you can't. Those days are gone.
It's long gone. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, don't you have like a place to take care of and like a job to do full time?
I was messaging an illustrator friend of mine. I tend to reach out to to the ones I know have kids, and I'm just like, how to give me advice. Like, how are you holding up? How are you doing this? And I was telling her, you know, without fail, every single time I have a job due, something happens in my house. It's like somebody gets sick, water heater explodes. Like
Yeah.
there's something happens every single time I have a job due. And I'm starting to be like a broken record where I just can just cut and paste an apology email. Like,
Oh
and just like,
no.
listen, your job is like 95% done. I'm so sorry, but here's what happened. And I want to stop sending out that email. It's rough.
Oh.
It's rough, but oh well.
It's
I
life.
guess life, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't care about your deadlines. It really
No,
It does
no.
not even remotely care. It's
Gotta factor all that
awful.
stuff in, you know. So now I'm realizing, based on what I had told you guys before we started recording, I'm gonna have to give myself like, I don't know, like a 3 week buffer
Yeah.
between stuff
Yeah.
where I just go, well, you know what? I'm not gonna be able to get this done this week, but
Mhm.
I've given myself a buffer.
That's actually a good idea because you can only predict what you can do, right? And then you're not predicting what life's going to happen or what the client's going to be like or what their schedule is going to end up being like, even though they say
Right.
it's something else. So that's
Yeah.
probably good rule of thumb.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But you know what? This is. I have actually a full blown real life pastor living
Yeah.
right down the street from me. Nicest guy. But I tell him these things and like reaching out to him for advice, but then he dumps he dumps his problems on me.
Oh
I'm like,
no.
you're
This
supposed
is
to
supposed
have
to
all
be
the
this
answers.
way.
Yeah. And so but he goes, you know what? We're sitting here talking about this stuff. These are first world problems.
They really are.
Totally
Yeah.
first world problems. You sitting there complaining about how much work you can juggle in a calendar year,
Yeah.
you
Mm.
know? And somebody out there is at the start of their career talking about, I'm trying to put together a resume and put together some portfolio pieces, and I got to know ZBrush now.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, they're at the start of that journey and they don't know where to start or how they're going to get work. And their parents are like, we pissed away how much money on this education? And what do they have to show for it? Some paintings? Like, what are they going to do with that?
Yeah.
In a world where it's increasingly hard
Oh, man.
to be an artist.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I tell my students, some of the students that finish their education with me, especially the ones that are technically good enough to do this work. I say the only thing that'll hold you back is your own head,
Mm-hmm.
like convincing yourself that you're not good enough, or having that negative self-talk, like I
Hmm.
can't do this, I'm not good enough, blah blah blah. Oh, there's so many better people out there. um and perseverance.
Yeah.
There's so
Yeah.
many people that are technically good, but they just say, you know what, my mom was right or my dad was right. I'm going to go into the family business. I'm going to be an accountant. I'm going to go into real estate. I'm going to do whatever it is, whatever the hell. And their painting is like a little hobby that they throw up onto Instagram every once in a while,
Which is fine too.
which is
Yeah.
fine, which is fine.
Yeah.
But when your aspiration was to be over here, and then you
Mm-hmm.
just said, you know what, I've been at this for 5 years and I'm not giving it any more of my time, any more of my life. That's fair. You gotta eat, you gotta survive. But the people that you see at conventions, I just feel like those are the hustlers. Those are the people that said, there's no plan B.
Yeah. It's like this, or, you know, like people who really live, like who live and breathe it and cannot see themselves doing anything but art. And, you know, even when I'm doing a lot of student like not interviews, portfolio reviews, and when I talk to different students about, you know, them asking me for mentorships, I can almost automatically tell which people are going to continue to persevere despite how hard it is, because there is this fire that they have and this passion. And unfortunately, like, you know, I don't like advocating for burning yourself out or trying, like, you know, like running yourself into the ground trying to find something. But you do have to put in extra effort in a world like this, where there are so many people who have grown up now with the same skills that these other people have, where YouTube Academy is now a thing, and there's all these resources online, and these 16-year-olds are drawing better than I can. And it's just, you know, people have the ability to do amazing art very quickly because there's so much out there that can give them, you know, that tutelage and that skill set. And yeah, like you said, Eric, the difference is the people who actually continue to make the effort to try to put themselves out there. And it's scary. As an introvert, it's scary. As somebody who's shy, it's scary. As somebody who's not sure of themselves, it's scary. But the people who have made it are the ones who knew it was scary and did it anyway. Like, Mia, I'm sure making your book was terrifying.
Oh yeah. It has
Yeah.
stopped being terrifying in so many different ways. There's this amazing Neil Gaiman quote that I'm going to butcher, but he talks about like where it feels like you're basically on the verge of running in the streets naked in terms of exposing yourself as an artist. That's where, you know, like that's an honest expression. And that's how I feel with this. And it's like, it feels great that it's like you put that on the page, but at the same time, it's like, oh shit, now people are going to read this. And this is really terrifying, you know? But with anything you make, right? It's like, I think with your most personal work, you paint it kind of like, and you get really into it and it's like for you, but then there's this fear of rejection, right? Of it you know, being put out there, especially at conventions where people are very much like, love it, hate it, you know what I mean? Like you can see their reactions. It's not like online where you don't get to really see some people's reactions. But anyway, I find that really inspiring actually. Like it's not about avoiding the fear. It's not about avoiding the terror of creating. It will always be there in some form or other. It's about making it anyway, you know?
Yes.
And to me, like just seeing everything that like the more obstacles in an artist's way to make that thing and the more they persevered, I find that so incredibly inspiring and so moving. And it's like it adds to the depth of the work too. So anyway.
100%. Yeah, like, and not only that too, but also the ability to put yourself in your work. It's, you know, because a lot of people have been doing, you know, things that are derived from the stuff that they are inspired by so much that you can't see their own personality in, or they do what they think other people want to see from them. A specific studio might want to see it from them. You know, like their dream is to work at Riot, and all they try to mimic Riot splash art that already exists. But I'm like, that art is already out there. These artists are already giving Riot what they need. What can you give a company that nobody else can give them? And that's also something that's really important for artists to maintain, is that they have their own personal voice within what they're creating and putting on the page, whether that's like the things that they're interested in terms of animation, even when you have to go with somebody else's style, or when you're an illustrator, which is super important to have your own voice. You know, comics, same deal. And you know, in any other fields, like having that unique perspective that you don't really get to see that much. You know, like some of the most successful businesses are the ones where people saw that there was a gap in what they needed for themselves and decided to make it themselves. And it's like, I think that's what really helps artists become successful too, is that they've noticed that there is a gap somewhere, that they're like, I see something that I don't get to enjoy that much in the world. I want to create that space for myself. The ones who carve their space out, I can tell immediately. And I'm like, I want to see more of your work and where you can go, because that has potential of something special. And that's what we've all done. And it's beautiful.
Yep. Living in the ripple effect every day.
Every day.
Yep.
I wanted to add to something about that you just said there, though, that it's like in terms of like, I think there's something scary too about tapping into the thing that makes you you, especially if you feel like it's niche or that it doesn't, like the book doesn't fit the cover, that kind of thing, or it's just like you said, people's expectations of what you should make and that kind of stuff, or who you should be and stuff. And I think actually the unexpected is what makes things interesting. And we try to, I feel like, maybe speaking for myself, but it's like I've been on this earth almost 40 years, and I feel like over time the world really tries to hammer out the weird stuff in you, you know what I mean, and smooth it out and make it conform and make it fit, especially with all this like algorithms and stuff, like and the consumers wanting to basically know exactly what they're getting and no surprises, right? And to me, that's like the death of art, no surprises. I want to be surprised. I want something new. I want something I couldn't predict. I want something to just stumble on something and have this serendipity of being like, oh my God, where was this?
Yeah.
And I think it's like, it's so difficult to resist those forces of that smoothing process, if that makes sense, that the world kind of does over time. And whether that's what we do for ourselves too, to protect ourselves, right? To protect ourselves from criticism, to get the results or to get consistent sales or whatever it is. Like, I think it's really difficult to resist all of that because we have to make a living, and usually the first thing that tends to connect with an audience, you think, I need to do that over and over and over again, but you might also be missing out on all these other things, that are you, and that you just feel like no one's gonna like that. I'm the only one who likes that. And I just think that takes a lot of courage. And I just want to encourage people to push past that fear and just do it, because it's terrifying. Excuse my language. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's the kind of art I live for, especially today. It just feels like there's so much of the same kind of art out there. And then the art that we see at conventions, like all of you who are like putting out your vision, it feels so fresh and so unique because you're daring to be yourselves, and you're embracing your inner weirdness that you feel like no one else is gonna like, and me too, I guess, but I don't show conventions anymore. But I'm just thinking about all that art, like how unique it is compared to everything else we see every day. Anyway, I'm rambling right now, but
it's great, because it's the most iconic things that have been in media are the things that have pushed through the noise by being as unique as it is. Things that have set the trends for the next 10, 20 years. Things that have changed the way that movies are made or animation is approached or games are played, or, like a myriad of different things that have been so different from everything that mainstream audiences have expected. Those are the things that resonate and shift, like Spider-Verse shifted culture. Journey, the game, shifted like what indie games could look like. Like there's like, we were talking about the Matrix the other day. I was like, going back and watching, I was like, Matrix it was really iconic. Yeah. Star Wars was really iconic. It was like all, like these things have set the trends because they're creators and a team of people who didn't let the things that were expected stop them from making something real. Mm-hmm. And, they were fortunate enough to have that backing of investment from, Hollywood or whoever that was, or whatever, investors decided to put their faith in that project. But that's where gold really is those beautiful original ideas. You never know what can happen. And if you don't share them, you're not going to be able to know. Yeah. And it's fine. Like some artists don't want to share, and that's fine, especially understandable in this day and age with mm-hmm. AI and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Use glaze, use nightshade, folks. Protect your art. Yeah. But really that's where the newness comes from. That's what people notice. And a great example, I work at Wizards, and a lot of people who never thought that they could work on a card or were qualified were hired on to do a specific set for their specific style, for what they specialize in, for, the unique thing that they always brought to the world because they were just so obsessed with it. Like RJ Palmer, doing realistic Pokemon his entire career, got to work on the Pokemon movie, or the Detective Pikachu. Or, like Tyson Hess, the person who did like ridiculous Sonic comics after he graduated college, was the one who like reinvented the style of like all the Sonic the Hedgehog IP work going forward. Like he basically like reinvented it. And it was just because of the thing that they were obsessed with. Like this was something that they were passionate about. Yeah. People took notice because they shared it, and it produced amazing results. And, like that, the same goes for original IPs. You never know until you try. You never know until you put it out there. You never know until you're afraid in doing it anyway. You just got to take the leap, and it's really scary.
Which
But
brings me back to
yeah,
what I was thinking about at the beginning of this year. I remember we had a uh, New Year's resolutions or something like that, our first episode of the year, where we were talking about what goals we wanted to accomplish. And I remember thinking, I want to paint more of what makes me happy. I want to paint more for myself. And I did absolutely none of that.
No.
I mean, I'm still painting stuff that makes me happy, but not my own personal work. Um, I did not make the time um, for that. Um, moving into next year, I hope that I can. But I'm just gonna have to be stronger about it. Um, I think about art and art creation and like what we leave behind and all that stuff. And I think that our personal works, our personal voice, that stuff means more than any IP that you could work on.
yeah,
You know, like all the people that get really jazzed about working for Marvel or painting Spider-Man or whatever. But what's inside you? Like you know, what do you want to leave behind? Because there's a ton of people that they could get to paint Spider-Man or whoever after you're gone, but I feel like there's something inside everybody or every artist that if they just had a month, 2 months, a year just to be creative, just a stream of consciousness, let something flow out of you, just original content. Like what would they create? And how could it change their life?
I mean,
You
I
know?
know artists that aren't interested in making their own thing, but if
there
you think
are.
about some of the artists that were the definitive, that defined the look of some of those characters, that was almost their calling, if you can think of it that way, even though that
Right.
character wasn't theirs, but they defined, they still have a legacy because they're that artist that drew Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know?
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I
various
think that's
different
just as
artists.
valid, you know?
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
think so too. I think various different artists have different ideas of what success looks like for them.
Right.
And for some, it's definitely, yeah, that original IP, that story that's been in their head for like their entire lives. And there's other artists who just want to be a part of the team. There's other artists that just want to be the designer for these lead IPs and have a stable and secure life. There's some artists who want a little bit of in between and like want to explore many different things throughout their career and not settle for one thing forever. Like the thing about it is that you can explore so many different pathways, and you have to explore the one. Well, not you don't have to do anything, but you are free to explore the ones that you feel will best give you fulfillment and happiness. And it's I think a lot of people don't realize how flexible this field can be. People don't realize that if you start working in animation, you can switch to games, or you can switch to comics, or you can switch to sculpture or fine art or any field of expression if you're suited for it. A lot of people don't realize that they can break into the game industry by not even doing art. And like you can get your foot in the door that way. Like it's all it's all very organic in the way that you can approach your career, or it can be regimented, or it can be both. But there really is no one set path for what best suits an artist. It's up to the individual. But a lot of people also get trapped and think in following what they only think is expected of them and not actually going for what they've always wanted. And I think that's the biggest advice I can give. It's just like don't let other people's expectations weigh you down so much where you lose sight of what you always had wanted to do in the first place.
Yeah. And I think to tie back to what Eric was saying too, that it's like, it's just good to know that about yourself, that you're like, hey, this is the thing I want to do with my time. And then realizing how you actually spend your time. And some of that might be out of your control for that year because you needed to pay the bills or things just didn't line up that way. But then just finding a way to carve out that time, even if it's like, I didn't get to finish a full painting, but the sketch is ready to go because you have some ideas that are ready to paint,
Yeah.
as soon as you have that time. So you're still working on it, you're still building it. And it's okay if it doesn't happen exactly as fast as you want, as long as you're building towards it.
Yeah. Like last year my hard drive died. My hard
It's
drive
the
with all my
worst.
artwork on it,
Oh
That
my
kills me.
and I hadn't backed it up.
oh shit.
I
Oh,
wasn't doing one of those online or auto backup through services that they have online or through an external hard drive. I was just like, whatever, it's a solid state hard drive, it's fine. And no, it was not fine.
Narrator, it was not fine.
But it had a folder full of original stuff, like sketches and designs and things that I've been wanting to make time to paint. And I found a service that I paid $1,500 to recover that hard drive, and they did.
Oh wow!
Oh my God! At least they
$1,500.
It's worth it. Oh my God!
It was totally worth it.
Definitely
because
worth it.
It's like I can still see those images in my head, the sketches, the files, the 3D models, all that stuff that I've made, but I don't want to make it again.
Yeah.
Like if there's any chance in the world that somebody can recover this for me, I'm going to do it. And so the funny thing is that the service that did it, the guy emails me and he'd been through my entire art folder, art hard drive, and he saw magic cards there.
Oh no.
And he's like, hey man, I'm a big fan of your stuff. And he's like, I won't tell nobody. And I'm like, dude, like,
what are you doing? Why are you telling me you looked at my stuff? Like,
it's just like, hey, should you be telling me?
Oh man. So I'm just like, thank you. He wanted a print or something, but he emailed me through their customer support line email, which was like no name attached to it. So responding could have just been to anybody.
Yeah.
But like, all right, I was just happy to have it back. So like that, the effort, I don't know, it was worth doing because I really wanted that artwork. But now I have to, do something with all that stuff that's sitting on my brand new hard drive.
And this is everyone's reminder to back up your backup.
Oh my
back
God.
up your backup, please.
Back up your backup
on something secure, or like back up on both a hard drive and a cloud somewhere. Like make sure it's online and not online, and back up your backup. Which reminds me, I need to do that for my own hard drive. I need to back it up again. I did it on Google Drive, but I also need to back it up physically as well. So just in case, just in case, it should be good. Yeah, it's scary, but yeah, gosh, what did I don't remember what I said for what I was going to do in 2023, but I can guarantee you I didn't do that. But it doesn't matter ultimately, because it's definitely been a building year, and there have been some really good accomplishments this year. This has been by far my most successful convention year, and this was out of 4 conventions that I've done. And despite the number of conventions, it's been my most profitable con year. This is the year that I got to do the Gen Con cover. I got to table at Lightbox for the first time and talk about painted and color stuff with people. I've been mentoring people. Work at Wizards has been going great, and giving artists opportunities. That it's like, despite the fact that I didn't make all the art that I'm sure I said I was going to make, or didn't do all the things with this podcast that I said I was going to, because we actually have full-time jobs and we're all busy. We passed 1,000 subscribers this year. We got the word out to a bigger audience. Thank you, Inkwell. Appreciate you, Dustin. There's been a lot of accomplishment, and I'm notorious for forgetting all the things that I've actually done, because I keep rolling onto the next thing and onto the next thing. And I want to continue to be intentional about looking back at the things that I have done and acknowledging how hard I've worked to be able to do those things. Because oftentimes, and I think a lot of artists go through this, where we feel like we're a failure, or we feel like we haven't done enough. I don't think I've ever met an artist who thought they'd done enough. Ever. Even the most prolific artist is like, oh, but I want to do this thing, or I want to do this project. Like, there's never enough. So I think I just had to accept that's just a feature of my life, and I'm never gonna feel like I'm doing enough. But in the pursuit of not feeling like I'm doing enough, there's plenty that is happening. And I think it's just a reminder to everybody too, is like, even like, you know, you don't think you're doing enough, but you probably have done plenty. Take a moment to be intentional and look back and look at what you have done. Try to write it down somewhere, try to put it in a journal, try to tell somebody about it. Share your accomplishments with people. I'm really bad at this. Share your accomplishments with people and let them know. Allow people to celebrate you and to celebrate how hard you've worked, even if it's something small. Even if you're like, oh, I got into this like little show, it's like, you know, just one piece, but it's, you know, it's something. Let people come out for you on the opening, you know, like, if you finally got your name in the credits, tell everybody that you got your name in the credits of an animation or a movie. Like, tell everybody if you did a cover or did colors or letters in a comic. You know, tell everybody if you got to work on a show that you always wanted to work on, or even if you don't, like, just tell everybody. If you even started writing, just like tell somebody. I finally pushed the fear and started writing something. Little things are great too, because they're steps on the right direction. So tell people and celebrate yourself, please. And that's a reminder for me as well. That's a message for me. Celebrate yourself. Because again, really bad at it.
Lauren, was this the year you did the Google Doodle?
That was last year, but the end of last year, so very close. It's actually the anniversary of that, as of a few days ago, which is really cool.
Perfect. Okay, I was like, it felt like a year-ish, and so anyway, I was wondering if it was like January, but that makes sense.
Almost to the day, exactly a year.
Amazing. Wow.
Which is really, really cool.
Yeah,
that was a particularly big one that like really warmed my heart. I loved working on that project.
That was so unique and so awesome, and it was just really amazing.
Yeah, thanks Nate for recommending me for work on that project. It was pretty dope. But yeah, so it's been a good year, and like, you know, next year I'm doing a mentorship with the Concept Art Association, and apparently I got 31 students enrolled in my class.
That's
which is crazy.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Which is crazy.
That's
like
cool.
I'm like, what happened? Like
you were just amazing. Like, that's what happened.
You have 31 students. Was this for an online class?
It's for an online mentorship.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's for the members of the Concept Art Association.
Members of the Concept Art Association, yeah.
With their dues, they get to be a part of the, if I understand correctly, they
yes,
have a mentorship as well.
And so yeah, it's video game portfolio readiness, and yeah, 31. So I have to split into 2 cohorts. So I have 15 and 16. Nice. And so I can, like, you know, exist and be a person who can help everybody in some way.
That's so cool.
It's so like I set an intention at least to mentor this year, and boy, it sure did work.
Wow. Is that going to be like a night class or something? Like, how are you?
I don't know the details yet. I have to it's like, I think it's going to be in March of next year, so I have to figure that out closer to the date of what's going to happen. But I'm like, dang, I got to make a curriculum. I got to make sure that I'm like on my stuff. I got to get like, I want to be able to help my students, and so or my mentees, and have like be equipped to like guide them in the right direction. And you know, like I wanted to be a professor, so this is pretty close.
So cool.
You're giving back. That's awesome.
That's what I really want to do. Yeah. What about you, Mia? Do you remember what intention you set at the beginning of the year, or remotely what you might have said?
I don't. And like I said, I think it was just like to kind of work on the book, right? And I thought I'd be done in January or something originally. So that was probably the main goal. But I am proud of myself that starting in April, I started it started as a daily drawing practice thing where every morning I would do figure drawing from YouTube sessions, like not in life, from life, you know, but like basically either half hour or sometimes even an hour every day. And I've mostly kept that up. There were some weeks where it became weekly, or it was like every other day or something, but it's like I have consistently drawn most days, as just it's not for anything finished. It's just to keep practicing my skills. And it was either figure drawing like gesture sketches or portrait. I did some portraits or some animal sketches, but it's just stuff that I just to draw something for me, if that makes sense. Even though I am working on my own project, you know, it doesn't have to be something that's tied to that. I just wanted to create that as a habit for the future, you know, even if I'm working on client work, to always have time each day where I'm drawing something for myself, whether it's just learning or it's a story idea or whatever. So yeah, that was pretty big.
That's huge, Mia. And I've been seeing them come in my inbox and they are joyous every single time I see them. So I'm really excited. If you guys want to support me as Patreon, you'll be able to see beautiful sketches often and gorgeous portraits, gorgeous animals, gorgeous progress photos. Like you get to see it all. So you should go follow me as Patreon and go support her because she's amazing.
Awesome. That was part of it though, that because I can't show any final art, I was like, I have to show something to my patrons as well. So
for sure.
It's actually been great to just be like, this is also what it looks like behind the scenes, just like constantly drawing and improving and stuff. It doesn't have to be final stuff that you show your patrons either, you know, it's just studies or just sketches. So
yeah. To be able to give them something, you know. But it's more than something. It's really a pleasure to see them. And I love seeing your sketches because they're so, I don't know, your structures and like the way you build out your forms it's so well done and makes me happy. So, and it's inspiring. It really is.
Thanks. I used to really struggle with that. I used to be like, structure, I was like, it's drawing, it's not supposed to be math. Like I don't want to have you know, I just want to like just wing it. And that was when I first met my partner, and he was just like, "Oh no, you need structure," you know. So
yeah,
I've come a long way because it was like that at first.
I would have never been able to tell that you ever struggled with that, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, good.
That's a testament to how amazing you are. It's great. Yeah. So I'm almost like reluctant to do it, but next year, a single, possibly attainable goal for next year. Who wants to start?
2 personal paintings.
Oh wow, yeah.
I'm gonna say 1 small one, 1 big one, 1 big multi-figure piece. Just in case I get accepted to some convention, I got a banger to bring with me.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Just in case, as in most likely you will.
Well, fingers crossed. I don't know. I see people try to get into some of these conventions, and then they write that they got rejected, and it, you know. And I'm like, oh man, that sucks.
Well, you never know.
So, but you know, either way, I just have a cool painting.
Yeah, that you've done for yourself.
Yeah, done.
I love that. Attainable. That's good. A good goal.
I want to. So, my neighbor, the pastor, his son, 16, 17 years old. I think he's 16. Anyway, so this, so it leads up to a story about a painting. Halloween night, he's trick-or-treating, and he goes to this one little boy's house down the street. His name is Zaire. He's 5 years old. Zaire is huge into Marvel and Transformers and all this stuff, all this pop culture stuff. Opens up the front door, and he sees the pastor's son standing there. And then the pastor's son's got like braids, tall, looks and the Zaire says, "Are you Miles Morales?" Like he was like blown away. Straight up thought this guy was Miles Morales. He's like, he was like breathtaking.
Oh my God.
And so the pastor's telling me this story, and I'm like, oh, well, that's it. Then I have to paint your son as Miles Morales.
Yes.
And I don't know if now I'm like battling whether or not I should like give Zaire the painting or a print.
Oh.
Like, give me that. It's my painting. I don't know. Or give him a print, but have the neighbor's son like sign it, like your buddy Miles or something like that.
Oh, that would be so cute. Cool.
So like actively picking out cosplay, like costume, like a Miles Morales, like Spider-Man costume.
Yeah.
And so the guy, he's like the pastor's son, he's totally down to do like a photo shoot and everything. So that'll be my little painting for myself.
That's so
I love that. That's so good.
But it was such a genuine reaction to seeing this young man in Zaire was just blown away. And I thought, I want to just keep that going. I think that was so cool. But yeah, if I can find time beginning of the year to do something like that, I'd be happy. But
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I hope you can, Eric.
I don't think there's been any oil paintings of Miles Morales. Maybe like no, there has been a couple.
Okay.
Now I want to look it up and see. I'm really curious, actually.
I mean, there's the Marvel Masterpiece stuff, and but nothing that I don't think anything's shown his face. Like you've seen him in the full costume.
The costume, yeah.
Oh, I see. But with his actual face exposed,
I want to see
really...
him with I want you to see his face. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's on the list.
Nice. Yeah, I can see you thinking.
Oh yeah, no, I was just thinking about how much I love Spider-Verse. Like how many times like I cried in the same parts like every time I watch it. I was like, that's a good movie, you know, when it can do that.
Very,
you know.
Yeah.
So good.
It's so resonant. I remember I was bawling in theaters when I saw the first one. Like just so. Actually, no, I cried at both of them.
Yeah.
Like for different reasons, but similar reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mia, what about you? What's one attainable? I mean, you know what's going to happen next year.
Well, I have to finish this, so that is the one attainable thing. But I would like to, in addition to that, outline my next story because I have like 4 other story ideas in my head. None of them are outlined or even written down, so it would be nice to at least get one of them starting.
Nice.
But yeah.
And one of the ones that you shared with me.
Oh yeah, I have shared with them.
Yes. Oh, I can't wait. I really want to see that come to life.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's like deciding to which one should I do next, and yeah. Anyway, like that's always interesting. Like this one was so clear because it was my only idea, you know.
Yeah.
But like when you have a few and like which one should I do next? Because it's like now you know the time investment that goes into something. So.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Now you have the advantage of experience and perspective. So you get to understand what it takes. And I think that's really important because then you can do it even better and like more like I'm not going to say faster, but just more effectively. Where you can, better how to pace yourself because you know how you work.
Yeah.
That's really important. Yeah. That's a good goal.
What about you?
You're finishing it. You're finishing the book. You're outlining a new story. Awesome. Yeah. Attainable. For sure. You got this. Well, yeah, for me, next year, I mean, one of my goals was to mentor more students, and that's already happening. So that I'm going to do that. That's no matter what. The other thing that I want to do is I want to make a coloring book.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yes, I'm going to make a coloring book, rather, should I say. So I'm going to make a coloring book next year. That is my goal, and I'm trying to figure out if I want to make new illustrations for it or use a lot of the line art that I already have, because like I think I could do both because I have so much line art that I've done, and I could just compile them all into a book and sell those and then make a new one. So yeah, I think I'm going. No, I'm not thinking. I'm going to make a coloring book next year.
I mean, this is like a match made in heaven. Like I've been wanting this. I've been wanting a color book of art. So just selfishly, I need this to happen.
Yay! The amount of people who have asked me about it over the years has been crazy, and it's been getting more and more frequent. And I'm like, I know, I need to do this. But every time I also see a coloring book in stores, I'm like, yeah, I really need to do this. Like, this is something I can totally do. Line art is my jam. So it's, yeah, I'm getting like my little room office like set up and make it a space that is more conducive to doing traditional art and large format traditional art. So I would like to start like painting in here as well, but it's going to be a good venue to do like larger ink illustrations. And yeah, that's just something that gives me joy purely. So I think it would be a fun project to undertake if I do all new illustrations for a coloring book, but I want to start with ones that I have already.
Yeah, that's actually smart to just start with the ones you have and almost like use that as a part 1, and then and you already have like you can start building your next one.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But that's our intentions for next year. Let's hope that we can all accomplish them. They are attainable, and I think we can. But everybody listening, set an attainable goal, one attainable goal for next year. If you're in the chat, please share it with us. And if you're watching after the live airing, please share it in the comments. Every comment, helps our engagement and helps more people see the show. If it has inspired you, we hope it inspires other people. And thank you so much for sticking with us for 3 years now. And next year is year 4, which is crazy to think about. It's been a pleasure to make this show with these wonderful people and have wonderful people join us every week or every other week in the chat and in the comments and in the general little community that we started to establish. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts for being here as a part of the journey. And we hope you have a happy new year, a great 2024, that you achieve some of your goals and work towards the big ones that you want to achieve, or achieve the big goals too. And keep yourself safe, keep yourself happy, keep yourself healthy for 2024. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Bye, y'all. Yeah.